Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April the 13th. The 13th. Well, it didn't fall on a Friday. That's a good thing, right? I love this weather. Hopefully you're all going out and enjoying it and getting exercise because it's a great day in the morning, as I always say. Oops, I'm all tangled here. Okay, well, we're still flying off the shelf like toilet paper, those homes they are. We put 174 under contract yesterday. Oh my goodness. But we only listed 86. Oh, I don't like that. We got to get up there in the hundreds. We are 0.66 months of inventory, so we're hanging in there. It's not going down. It's kind of hovering there above 0.65. And I put some stars here today because I was just noticing that this month we have been averaging 117 sales a day, and which is similar to February. We did 118 homes a day. Interesting that in March we did 151 homes a day. So March, for some reason, went gangbusters, and we'll see what happens here in April because it's almost the middle of April and we're not even getting close to that 151. So I doubt that we're going to reach that, but it'll be interesting where we fall in between the February and the March numbers. Surprisingly, because this is, one of the busiest home buying months, April, May, and June. So not sure what's going on, if it's the multiple offer situation. I'm not real sure if our inventory is not enchanting to people right now, but we will find out as the next week goes on. The other thing I show today is the rentals. So there's 1,071 available rentals right now, of which only 562 are single family homes. Most of them reside in the condo area, 439 available condos. And what we did last month is we leased 478 single family homes. So leasing seems to be moving faster this month than last month. And the total that we leased in March was 1,931. Very big number for the number of leases going on. Great investor market because the rental prices are going up. Homes are flying. I mean, we put a home for lease on the market and it's gone in a day. It's just amazing. So let's see here. I wanted to talk a little bit. Let's see. We were talking yesterday about Facebook ads, and one of the things that what we teach is that on your business page, you need to do some promotions. You need to promote yourself, and you need to promote yourself to the right audience. And in class, we teach you how to do that because you need at least 300 likes on your business page to start getting let Facebook use the algorithm to see who they should put your posts in front of, and your boosts and your ads. So, there's a tactic and some strategies there, and we're going to go deep into those in class because the whole strategy is doing the right promotions at the right time to the right people. And so location is critical, and exactly what you post to those people is critical. Then we go into boosting and how you target boost and the different do's and don'ts of boosting. And then we go into creating an ad. And if you only have 300 likes on your page or under 1,000, 300 to 1,000, you need to do some engagement ads so that you start letting Facebook understand your audience. So who's interested in searching homes in Las Vegas, for instance? Who's interested in the relocation guide? Who's interested in knowing what's their home is worth? So that's why targeting is so important, because if you don't target the right audience, then what Facebook is going to do is put your business page in front of the wrong people. So it's very, very critical what we went over yesterday, that you actually have a plan to what you're doing. So you need to promote. You need to promote for your page. And Facebook, that's something that you don't see. They do that. And it's not like they create, you see an ad or you create a boost. You create, let's say what we normally do for promotions, for instance, is we'll reach out to people with a relocation guide as part of our promotion. Then Facebook gets, because that's for Facebook to realize that we're looking for people, let's say in California, that want to move to Las Vegas because they want the relocation guide, and we target it to California. That's the logic there, and that's the tactic and the strategy that works. And then if you want to get Facebook to know that you also do listings, you want to do another promotion and promote what's my home worth, or start getting engagement with giving tips on staging your home, for instance, or how to navigate in this frenzy market. Things that sellers who are interested in selling right now are going to be interested in. So anyway, all those things are very critical, because otherwise you're going to be one of those people that say, Facebook doesn't work. Facebook ads don't work. Well, they do, but you have to have a plan and work the plan, and they're not going to work overnight. Nothing does. We'd all be rich and famous if that were the case. So it's consistent, and it's getting a message out there that people are interested in. Like if you want to do, I like retirement communities to do listings because it's got a lot of turnover, so to speak. And so reverse mortgages are a big item in the retirement communities, because all of a sudden they realize, well, they might need some cash out of their house for emergencies, or to spiff it up. They want to redo the kitchen or the bathrooms or new landscaping. And you can do that with a reverse mortgage, and it's still your home. And we had a show about that on Saturday that was extremely informative. If you didn't watch the Saturday show, please watch it, because it really, really will give you some insight into reverse mortgages. There's been a lot of myths about reverse mortgages, and they simply have come up to a higher standard, in my opinion, because this company that Tom Selleck is the icon for, right? They just really have come out with some very creative things to do, and especially because of the low interest rates, they can do them. So anyway, my point, I'm digressing a little bit, but if you want to, do that, I always like that as going after sellers, especially if you're a newer agent. It's simply a gentler market to target and to get people that will list with you. So anyway, so Facebook wants to know, where you want your buyers from. So you need to target specifically. And then with the boosting and the drop pin, you can circle the different communities in Las Vegas that are retirement communities, so that, if they want to list their homes, for instance, it's an easy way to target them. And you need to give them good information, like I was saying, like the reverse mortgages, or maybe you have you want to give them a list of, the best buffets in town now, or not buffets, but the best restaurants in town that perhaps are around their area. I don't know, and there's new restaurants opening up. So, you might want to think of what information you can give them, make an offer. You want to give them something, right? So very important. If you're just new to Facebook advertising, or your Facebook business page is needs a graveyard, and you need to, revive it a little bit. We're going to be doing a class, excuse me. We're going to be doing our class. I believe it starts on the 19th. I'll check with that and get back to you before the end of the show. So anyway, one of the things that I wanted to say was that the landing page, let me hide this, see if we can get my screen to share. Share. No, I don't see it. Okay, let's see if we can't share a screen tab here. I think I want to go there. Okay, so we've been talking about this. So hopefully you can see this. This is the home shopping list that we've been referring to. And well, I'm going to quickly make sure that you can see it here. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see here. This is the home shopping list, and this is no, you can't see it, huh? Not sure what goes on sometimes. BeLive just keeps changing things. Hold on. And it just, there it is. There we go. Okay. So I went here to share the screen. And this is the back of the lab. And you can see these little red squares. Those represent all the new landing pages that we have to get a home list from 100,000 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and of course over 1 million. So let's see if we can't make this work this time. I think Kane taught me I have to solo it. Oh gosh. So let's solo it. And I'm going to go to it. And we're going to look at one of these. Let's see. I'm going to pick, let's pick the medium price. Okay, we're going to view this. And hopefully you're going to see it. Okay, come on. It's not coming up. God help me. It's not doing it. I don't know why. Hold on. People have a lot of patience. Okay, so we're going to solo that off and see if we can't do it this way. And refresh it. Says it's sharing it. We'll just give it another minute, but it is the home shopping list. Not sure why it's not coming up on the screen. Not working. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Let's go back here. I'm going to go back to here. So I'm not sure why it's not working. BeLive's not working, but they just did make another change today. Anyway, so you now have a landing page. And if you go to the back of your lab, there it's going to be there. And the landing page basically says, do you want a list of homes for $100,000? Get your list. So you're giving people an offer, and this is a way to, you're saying that homes from 100 to 199,000, homes from 200 to 299,000. So you're giving them the range. And in doing this, you're actually doing your own demographics, if you will, because they took that away from us. But people that want to buy a medium priced home or $600,000 home or whatever, they're the people that, so you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 landing pages to run. And I would run them all in one day, and then I would boost them. That's what I would do. And I would target California. Right now, the stats are saying that more people are moving here from California than any other state. So why not? Why not capture some of that? So that being said, I would like to talk a little bit about when you're creating this information on Facebook. Excuse me. You want to intermix some live video of you answering questions or doing an ad, which you can learn how to do if you come to our class on the 19th. You'll learn how to do a testimonial carousel. And this morning, good morning, Karen. Good morning, Annetta. Don't mean to ignore people today. I get frustrated when the technology doesn't work. So it goes. So anyway, what I'm saying is, Teresa sold a home. She went up against, I think, 11 offers down. She was down to the final 2, and she got the home for for her buyers. My gosh, can you imagine what kind of a testimonial those buyers can give you, Teresa? If you're out there, and you can take a picture and then script it, or you can have them do a little video, depending on, some people don't want to do video. Some people don't mind if you take a picture of them, and as long as you don't mention their names. You can overcome any of the objections. You just want, what you want to do is tell people, we had 11, we went up against 11 offers, and my clients got this home. Try not to use the word I, right? My clients went up against 11 offers, and we were able to get this home for them, and listen to what they have to say, and see what they have to say. Anyway, and if you have 2 or 3 of those, you just need like 3 in a carousel. Testimonials are really huge, really huge. So, try to go out to the people that you have recently listed their home and sold it, or got an offer on and get a testimonial. It doesn't have to be lengthy. Just say, Teresa was the best real estate agent I've ever worked with, or Teresa did such a fabulous job for us. We'll be eternally grateful. We got our dream home. They don't have, it takes like 5 seconds. So you can give them some examples and what have you. And that is going to really promote your business and on Facebook. And of course, like I said yesterday, when you do ads on Facebook, Facebook puts them on Instagram. So but you can also do these testimonials on Instagram too. It's just not as, do them in the reels, do them on Facebook as a story. There's lots of places that you can repurpose this information, and you really need to think about repurposing it. I know, everybody, the market is really hot right now, but it can't stay this hot. So you have to think future. So you have to get out there and learn how to do these things that you're going to need to learn how to do moving forward in this coming year or two. So you might as well start now, right? And the other thing is, so testimonials work really well in ads, and images work really well. There's a lot. That's why we do the virtual tour. We do that virtual tour because people liked walking through that beautiful home and seeing the dollhouse picture. So that's number 2. And then, of course, number 3, they love video. They love video, short, sweet video. I know, Frank, you've embraced video very well. Love your video going out there about giving 35% referral fees. That's fantastic. Hopefully you're going to get some business from it. And so those are the things that you need to think about. The elements of the ad, the text in the ad, the highlight, the offer that you're giving, the information that you're giving. So there's a lot that goes into it, and not enough time to do it, obviously, in 5 minutes. But one of the things that, and I'm sorry that Jimmy isn't here today. Where's my video? Oh, there it is. So this little video, and we've watched this together before. So I want to watch it again, though, because the power of persuasion, Facebook ads go along these lines totally. So let's just watch it. It's only 5 minutes, and it'll jog your memory because I've shown it maybe a year ago or 9 months ago, but we'll watch it again. The power of persuasion. And this is by Robert Cialdini, of course. And I know that this has a lot to do with negotiating too, but it follows along the tactics for Facebook ads.
Researchers have been studying the factors that influence us to say yes to the requests of others for over 60 years. And there can be no doubt that there's a science to how we are persuaded. And a lot of this science is surprising. When making a decision, it would be nice to think that people consider all the available information in order to guide their thinking. But the reality is very often different. In the increasingly overloaded lives we lead, more than ever, we need shortcuts or rules of thumb to guide our decision making. My own research has identified just 6 of these shortcuts as universals that guide human behavior. They are reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. Understanding these shortcuts and employing them in an ethical manner can significantly increase the chances that someone will be persuaded by your request. Let's take a closer look at each in turn.
So, the first universal principle of influence is reciprocity. Simply put, people are obliged to give back to others the form of behavior, gift, or service that they have received first. If a friend invites you to their party, there's an obligation for you to invite them to a future party you are hosting. If a colleague does you a favor, then you owe that colleague a favor. And in the context of a social obligation, people are more likely to say yes to those that they owe. One of the best demonstrations of the principle of reciprocation comes from a series of studies conducted in restaurants. So the last time you visit a restaurant, there's a good chance that the waiter or waitress will have given you a gift, probably at about the same time that they bring your bill. A liqueur perhaps, or a fortune cookie, or perhaps a simple mint. So here's the question. Does the giving of a mint have any influence over how much tip you're going to leave them? Most people will say no, but that mint can make a surprising difference. In the study, giving diners a single mint at the end of their meal typically increased tips by around 3%. Interestingly, if the gift is doubled and 2 mints are provided, tips don't double. They quadruple, a 14% increase in tips. But perhaps most interestingly of all is the fact that if the waiter provides 1 mint, starts to walk away from the table, but pauses, turns back, and says, "For you nice people, here's an extra mint," tips go through the roof. A 23% increase, influenced not by what was given, but how it was given. So the key to using the principle of reciprocation is to be the first to give and to ensure that what you give is personalized and unexpected.
The second universal principle of persuasion is scarcity. Simply put, people want more of those things they can have less of. When British Airways announced in 2003 that they would no longer be operating the twice-daily London-New York Concorde flight because it had become uneconomical to run, sales the very next day took off. Notice that nothing had changed about the Concorde itself. It certainly didn't fly any faster, the service didn't suddenly get better, and the airfare didn't drop. It had simply become a scarce resource, and as a result, people wanted it more. So when it comes to effectively persuading others using the scarcity principle, the science is clear. It's not enough simply to tell people about the benefits they'll gain if they choose your products and services. You'll also need to point out what is unique about your proposition and what they stand to lose if they fail to consider your proposal.
Our third principle of influence is the principle of authority, the idea that people follow the lead of credible, knowledgeable experts. Physiotherapists, for example, are able to persuade more of their patients to comply with recommended exercise programs if they display their medical diplomas on the walls of their consulting rooms. People are more likely to give change for a parking meter to a complete stranger if that requester wears a uniform rather than casual clothes. What the science is telling us is that it's important to signal to others what makes you a credible, knowledgeable authority before you make your influence attempt. Of course, this can present problems. You can hardly go around telling potential customers how brilliant you are, but you can certainly arrange for someone to do it for you. And surprisingly, the science tells us that it doesn't seem to matter if the person who introduces you is not only connected to you, but also likely to prosper from the introduction themselves. One group of real estate agents were able to increase both the number of property appraisals and the number of subsequent contracts that they wrote by arranging for reception staff who answered customer inquiries to first mention their colleagues' credentials and expertise. So, customers interested in letting a property were told, "Lettings? Let me connect you with Sandra, who has over 15 years' experience letting properties in this area." Customers who wanted more information about selling properties were told, "Speak to Peter, our head of sales. He has over 20 years' experience selling properties. I'll put you through now." The impact of this expert introduction led to a 20% rise in the number of appointments and a 15% increase in the number of signed contracts. Not bad for a small change informed from persuasion science that was both ethical and costless to implement.
The next principle is consistency. People like to be consistent with the things they have previously said or done. Consistency is activated by looking for and asking for small initial commitments that can be made. In one famous set of studies, researchers found, rather unsurprisingly, that very few people would be willing to erect an unsightly wooden board on their front lawn to support a Drive Safely campaign in their neighborhood. However, in a similar neighborhood close by, 4 times as many homeowners indicated that they would be willing to erect this unsightly billboard. Why? Because 10 days previously, they had agreed to place a small postcard in the front window of their home that signaled their support for a Drive Safely campaign. That small card was the initial commitment that led to a 400% increase in a much bigger but still consistent change. So, when seeking to influence using the consistency principle, the detective of influence looks for voluntary, active, and public commitments, and ideally gets those commitments in writing. For example, one recent study reduced missed appointments at health centers by 18%, simply by asking the patients rather than the staff to write down appointment details on the future appointment card.
The fifth principle is the principle of liking. People prefer to say yes to those that they like. But what causes one person to like another? Persuasion science tells us that there are 3 important factors. We like people who are similar to us, we like people who pay us compliments, and we like people who cooperate with us towards mutual goals. As more and more of the interactions that we are having take place online, it might be worth asking whether these factors can be employed effectively in, let's say, online negotiations. In a series of negotiation studies carried out between MBA students at 2 well-known business schools, some groups were told, time is money, get straight down to business. In this group, around 55% were able to come to an agreement. A second group, however, were told, before you begin negotiating, exchange some personal information with each other. Identify a similarity you share in common, then begin negotiating. In this group, 90% of them were able to come to successful and agreeable outcomes that were typically worth 18% more to both parties. So to harness this powerful principle of liking, be sure to look for areas of similarity that you share with others and genuine compliments you could give before you get down to business.
The final principle is consensus. Especially when they are uncertain, people will look to the actions and behaviors of others to determine their own. You may have noticed that hotels often place a small card in bathrooms that attempt to persuade guests to reuse their towels and linen. Most do this by drawing a guest's attention to the benefits that reuse can have on environmental protection. It turns out that this is a pretty effective strategy, leading to around 35% compliance. But could there be an even more effective way? Well, it turns out that about 75% of people who check into a hotel for 4 nights or longer will reuse their towels at some point during their stay. So what would happen if we took a lesson from the principle of consensus and simply included that information on the cards and said that 75% of our guests reuse their towels at some time during their stay, so please do so as well. It turns out that when we do this, towel reuse rises by 26%. Now imagine the next time you stay in a hotel, you saw one of these signs. You picked it up and you read the following message. 75% of people who have stayed in this room have reused their towel. What would you think? Well, here's what you might think. I hope they're not the same towels. And like most people, you'd probably think that this sign will have no influence on your behavior whatsoever. But it turns out that changing just a few words on a sign to honestly point out what comparable previous guests have done was the single most effective message, leading to a 33% increase in reuse. So, The science is telling us that rather than relying on our own ability to persuade others, we can point to what many others are already doing, especially many similar others.
So there we have it, 6 scientifically validated principles of persuasion that provide for small, practical, often costless changes that can lead to big differences in your ability to influence and persuade others in an entirely ethical way. They are the secrets from the science of persuasion.
Researchers have been studying the factors that influence thinking. My own research has identified just 6 of these
We're obliged to give back to others.
consensus.
Okay, so what I wanted to do is put these on the screen and go over them really quickly. This is how they relate to us. Reciprocity. Reciprocity. So what we want to do is we definitely want to offer something to people. That's why we say give them the relocation guide. Give them, the market research on their neighborhood. So that's reciprocity. Number 2 is FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, the interest rates are low, so don't miss out, right? And then you can show them, the differences in why they wait. So if you wait, you're going to be paying, $140 more in your mortgage if you wait till the rates rise a percentage, and you do the math. So then number 3 is authority. And if you consistently, I'm combining 3 and 4, consistently tell people about the market, consistently let people know what's happening, consistently give them stats, how homes increased 14% from last year, and that they continue to increase. And so you don't want them to miss out, and you want to come across like the market. How's the market? Wow, you can give them statistics, like we're selling 117 homes a day, and things like that. That gives you authority. And then the consistency part is always being in front of them with helpful information and information that makes you credible, information that they need. Okay, you want to give people something they need, questions that they might have that you already know, that you give a little post or video about answering those objections or questions that they have. And then when you come to, number 5, liking. Okay, liking. So liking, he said, it's like when we have something in common. Well, we've all had the pandemic in common. It's all caused us different things to take place. So we can relate to them about the pandemic and how perhaps our family handled it or our children handled the school situation. And it's not necessarily bonding, because you're not really bonding online so much, but it can create a bond. But anyway, you want to give them similar things, and perhaps tell them a story about someone that did a reverse mortgage, and because they're thinking about that. So and you might want to do that to the Sun Cities and the Siennas and the retirement communities. So you want to create some type of a similar situation that they're going to relate to you about. And then consensus. Now here's where we get to those testimonials, giving people testimonials over and over and over again. And I always say, if people are not constantly flipping through here, stopping on you, they might see, 100 other things today that they're interested in, and you're not one of them. But tomorrow, because you're consistently doing your posting, your boosting, your ads, they're going to say, oh my gosh, there's Annetta again, there's Frank again, there's Karen again, there's Joan again. Oh my gosh, I'm going to see what she has to say today, because last week she had some really good information. Consistency, staying in front of people and not being afraid you're in front of them. I mean, everybody says, oh my, I'm going to be in front of them too often. No, you're not. You're not. If you want to, let's see, there was, my image won't load for some reason. So, no, it won't. Anyway, Amazon, what's going on in Vegas? The Raiders are saying that they're going to have a full season. Amazon is just opening 2 more distribution centers. And this week you've got the home market show, 5 days of it, and bringing thousands of people here. So anyway, life is getting back on the right track. Learn about what's going on. I try to tell you tidbits here and there. The Raiders are assuring their fans that they're going to be open full bore this season. And you might want to say something in a boost that, Amazon's opening 2 new distribution centers in Las Vegas. If you're looking for a job, contact me, and make sure you've already gone on Indeed and know where to send them to get the job that they might want. Anyway, yeah, you gotta think through it, play it forward a little bit. Love all you guys. Got to go. Don't know where the time goes sometimes. I'll get some of those landing pages up on the in the group and on Agent Formula so you can see them. And I don't know if there's a better deal than our website with all the tools that we give you to stay in front of people and give them what they want. Bye, everybody. Love you. See you tomorrow.